Okay, welcome to Chapter 9. Chapter 9 is all about circles. This is your cover page of your Circles foldable. You may decorate it however you want, but at this point, all I want you to do is write Chapter 9 and your name on it. In case you lose it, we can get it back to you. But again, this is your cover page. Decorate as you like. On the next page, we are going to put parts of a circle. So this is all going to go on that next page. I'm going to enlarge it so you can see it a little bit better here. Okay, so we're going to start with parts of a circle. Let's start with defining actually what a circle is. A circle is a set of points in a plane that are equidistant from the given point. The given point is what we call the center of a circle. The center of the circle is a fixed point in the plane that is an equal distance from every point on the circle. That means from that center point, if we were to put our point of our compass, we would trace every single point that is on the circle. Now it's important to remember that the center of the circle is not a point on the circle. When we talk about a point being on the circle, it is actually on what you see as the outline of the circle. A radius. A radius is a line segment with one endpoint of the circle and one endpoint at the center. So a line segment with one endpoint of the circle, I should say on the circle, and one endpoint at the center. So it should say on the circle. A chord. A chord is a line segment with each endpoint on the circle. And last, a diameter is a chord that passes through the center of the circle. Now what I'd like you to do is go back, and I'd like you to underline a few things with me. When you get to radius, I'd like you to underline line segment. When you go back to chord, I'd like you to underline line segment. Diameter, I'd like you to underline the word chord. A diameter is a chord. Okay. All right, we're going to scroll down here. And we are going to name the parts of a circle. Now, the first thing we're going to do is actually learn how to name the circle. One way you can name a circle is by saying circle C, by using the center point and using the word circle in front of it. Or you may use a circle with a dot in the middle and the center point C. Either of those is acceptable. Now the center is a point. We're just going to call it point C, capital letter to name a point. A radius in a drawing. Remember, a radius is a line segment with one point on the circle and one point at the center. So there's several different options here. I'm going to only name one of them, and we're going to name it DC. Now, since it is a line segment, I'm going to put the line segment symbol above it. A chord. A chord has both endpoints on the circle. So in this case, we could use line segment EF as one of our chords. And lastly, a diameter. A diameter is a chord that goes through the center of the circle, and in this case, we are looking at segment AB. Okay, one more page before we do a checkpoint. We're going to talk about a secant of a circle. Again, please copy down. This is page 2, so you're now on a different page. You're going to copy down the definition for a secant. A secant is a line that intersects a circle in exactly 2 points. Okay. So let me bring down my line tool here. Now it's important that in here, you recognize that this is a line. Okay, so please underline the word line, which means it has endpoints on it. So it begins and ends with an arrow. So if I draw this in, there is a secant. It intersects the circle in exactly 2 points. Okay. And let's name those points A and B. We'll just name them A and B. Okay. A tangent of a circle. A tangent, this one's kind of tricky. A tangent is a line that intersects a circle in exactly 1 point. Okay? The point where it intersects is what we call the point of tangency. Okay? The point of tangency is a single point where the tangent line intersects the circle. Now this one's kind of hard because you're drawing a line right here. A tangent is a line. So if I go back up to my line tool, and again, I want arrows on both sides because it is a line. And let me just put a line over here. What I want to do is I want to take this line and I want to move it so that I intersect the circle in exactly 1 spot. Let me put it down here so I'm not over the vocab. Now I know that looks like it intersects in more than 1 spot, but we're going to put a point there and we're going to call it point C. And that is the point at which it is tangent to the circle. It only intersects in 1 spot. Think about this as taking a long yardstick and setting it on a tire. In theory, it should only touch it in 1 point.